Welcome everyone. My name is Brian, and I'm deeply grateful that you've chosen to spend this time together. Uh, it feels really important to maintain this sense of community and connection. Even though I can't hear you or see you, I can trust that you're present here because you've chosen to be here. And that feels really, really valuable and reaffirming to me. And I hope that in turn um, that in this opportunity where I can give back and connect to you, that you can also leave feeling refreshed and that need for connection has been satiated. So I'm going to start our yoga class, our deep relaxation class tonight with a little exercise, an exercise for our minds, an exercise for our souls. And so when you're ready, you can do this lying down, sitting in a chair, seated on your meditation cushion, or propped up by a blanket. And we're just going to very simply ask ourselves two questions. This exercise is called the time and space exercise. And so we're going to start by just taking a nice deep breath in and out. We feel that grounding effect and that presence with your breath. Then you can ask yourself the very first question: where am I? And your answer for this exercise is here. Every time you ask yourself, where am I? You reply, I am here. And then you might ask yourself, what time is it? And you're going to answer with now. And so you can actually turn this into a meditation, or at the very least, it can be an exercise to help build your concentration so that you can meditate more easily. And with your breath, you can simply ask yourself, where am I? Here. What time is it now? Just silently continue to reaffirm that you are here now. Allow yourself to slowly just build a level of comfortability in that presence of being here now. Totally natural for that to feel a little uncomfortable at first, settling into the here and now. With patience and persistence, this exercise is very natural. I am here now. Training our minds to be present in this way, we enter into this state of timelessness. We embody our timelessness, the part of us that continues beyond this body, the part that existed before this body. Connecting with that loving timelessness. As you continue to reaffirm your presence here now, begin to check in with your body and its posture. See if you can embody a tall, upright position, Finding that balance between ease and effort. So that if you're slouching or if you feel gravity pulling you down, you can invite in a little effort to lift the shoulders up and set the shoulders back and down. Lengthen from the waistline and gently draw the lower belly up. And just rest here for a few more moments in the present, one breath at a time. Without trying too hard. 3 more breaths. Reaffirm I am here. As you exhale next, let your hands touch and rest in front of the chest, resting in this prayer position called Anjali Mudra. Anjali Mudra. Mudras are different hand positions. This one is called Anjali Mudra, the position in front of the heart center. Continue to observe the shoulders. Continue to watch your breath flowing in, flowing out. Just gently begin to rock side to side. See if you can find this very fluid, almost serpentine-like movement. Just allow the hands to begin to weave this figure eight. You can even imagine like you're weaving these grass strands on a basket, weaving them in and down, getting your whole body involved, letting the breath remain steady. So the hands are reaching and weaving up and overhead. Experiencing here this union, breath, mind, and body. And slowly let the hands weave back down, 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 back in front of the chest, back through center, and back up, 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 rediscovering freedom through movement. If at any time in class you feel like you need to make personal modifications or adjustments, or something I'm instructing just doesn't work for you, that's fine. Use this opportunity as a container to do anything you can that serves you, that serves your well-being. And if you're not doing exactly what I'm doing, that's okay. This is your yoga journey. It's going to be a little different than my yoga journey. We can still hold space for each other in our journey. One more time, hands weaving up and overhead in that figure eight shape. And then slowly back down, 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 down. Good. Relax the hands down. You can switch to cross the legs if you need to, or shake the legs out. And then just pick the shoulders up and roll the shoulders back and down a few times. Good. Place your left hand on your knee or on the floor beside you. With your right hand, we're going to sweep that hand up and overhead and around. And then we're going to lower the right hand down. And then we're going to reverse, sweep the left hand across the body and around. And plant. And again, right hand. and left. Right and left. See if you can continue to sync breath and movement. And see if you can do 3 more on each side. You finished your third one, come back to center. Just briefly look over one shoulder, drop opposite shoulder back and down, palm turns up, and then look over the other shoulder, opposite shoulder back and down, palm turns up. Just tuck and tilt the chin and do that twice more on each side. And head and neck back to the center. So our last seated warm-up here, we're just gonna make some gentle body circles, just gently circling the torso, just extending as far as you comfortably can while keeping your sitting bones grounded. So you're gonna keep your glutes on the floor as you circle in your seat. This is really great for warming up the lower back and starting to stretch the side bodies, hip flexors. If you ever start to get distracted, just ask yourself, what time is it? Where am I? Here, now. Ask yourself 1,000 times and each time respond, training your mind to be present. If you hadn't already, go ahead and just reverse the direction of those circles. Awesome. Let's go ahead and come up to our hands and knees into what's called tabletop position. So we're going to go ahead and come over to our mats or our allocated yoga space. And I've just got my hands stacked under the shoulders, knees under hips. I'm just going to start by just gently swaying the hips side to side. You can imagine like you were a big cat and you're just gently swishing your big cat tail side to side. Feel that connection between each fingertip, your palms, and the floor. Spread the fingers wide and press the floor away. It's going to help to take some of the pressure out of the wrists by engaging through the fingers, so redistributing that. Just a couple more flicks of the tailbone side to side. Right. Toes tucked under. This time, inhale, melt the belly, tilt the tailbone away, lift the chest and tilt the chin up. Big breath in. This is called cow pose. Exhale, tuck the chin in and stretch, rounding the spine. Exhale here. This is called cat pose. Inhale deeply, reverse the movement. Exhale. Do this 5 more times. Once more, move through your cat and cow. When you're ready, come back to that neutral tabletop position. Let your knees come a little bit wider, about as wide as your mat if you can. Toes can be tucked or untucked, your choice. Slowly sink the weight back into child's pose. Let the forearms and the hands and arms relax. Let your chin or forehead and or chest rest on the mat. Just a couple of breaths. We're going to build off this child's pose. And so what I'm going to do on my next in-breath, as I inhale, I'm going to reach my hands over to the right. I'm going to keep walking the hands as far over to the right as I can, maybe so there's a line that extends from that right knee that my hands are now framing. I'm going to inhale up halfway. My hands are reaching over to the right, but I'm going to exhale and sink the body weight back towards the left hip. So I'm creating this stretch across the back and side body. Hands over to the right, weight shifts back to the left. My next in-breath, I'm going to switch and reverse. Hands over to the left, body weight anchors back down to the right. I'm going to go ahead and come back to center. I'm going to shift the weight back forward into tabletop. All right. I'm going to go ahead and extend my right leg behind me. Back in tabletop. Right knee off the ground, toes on the floor or on the mat. I'm just going to press back through that right heel, just firmly pressing back. So I'm going to press through the right heel, exhaling. Then as I inhale, I'm going to curl this right heel in to almost try and tap my glute. And then I'm going to exhale, extend, plant the ball mound of the foot and press back through the heel. And then inhale, curl the heel in. One more time. This time, plant the ball mound of the right foot, firmly drive that right heel back, lift the chest, and reach the crown of the head forward. Exhale, lower the right heel down. When you're ready, go ahead and reach that left leg out behind. Hips stay level, shoulders stay level. We're going to exhale, drive the heel back as the ball mound of the left foot presses down. And then we're going to inhale, curl that left heel in. Exhale, re-extend. One more time. Drive that heel back and down, left foot on the floor, and release. Let's just go ahead and sit back on the heels a moment. Go ahead and just shake out the hands and wrists. Give them a good shake. All right. So child's pose is available for you anytime. You can also just simply lay down on your belly if you need a rest. We're going to move through a down dog sequence next. Okay, and at any point you need to take a break, just rest. Take care of yourself. So we're going to come up into our plank position. And I'm just going to start in modified plank because I feel like keeping my knees down right now. I could very well lift the knees if I want to and come into plank. All right. The reason we come into plank before down dog is because I want to get the spacing right between my hands and feet. So with my shoulders right over the wrists, my toes tucked under, I can shift right back to down dog and then forward into plank, and my body stays in alignment. So you can start by finding your plank first, and then when you're ready, you can start to shift the weight back and straighten the legs coming into down dog. Downward dog's like this upside down triangle shape, or upside down letter V shape, making a triangle shape. Once you get comfortable in down dog, just take a moment and bend one knee and then the other, taking that dog before you walk. You should have about 2 fist distance between your feet. Very gently shake out the head and neck, yes and no. And then when you're ready, lower down to your knees. Take a brief rest in child's pose, this time with knees together and hands reaching back to grab heels. When you're ready, press the floor away, and let's meet back in down dog. So down dog sequence part 2. This time, if you wish, you might even begin to work into a split dog, reaching one leg up high behind. Notice how my hip flexors, that's those belt loops on the front of my pants, stay facing down. I'm not opening my hip here. Both of those hip flexors stay down. If you want an additional level of challenge, you could reach back and grab opposite calf with your hand. When you're ready, walk your feet up between the hands. Go ahead and come to a standing forward fold at the top of your mat. Again, shake out the head and neck. Gently yes, gently no. Inhale up halfway, hands to shins, knees to thighs. Pull the shoulder blades together. And then exhale, release. Hands lower down. Inhale, a little bend in the knees. Come all the way back to standing. Hands come up last, up and overhead. And exhale, hands touch in front of the chest. Sun breathing. Exhale here. Inhale, hands reach up. Little back bend. And exhale, hinge from the hips, standing forward fold. Inhale up halfway, hands to shins, knees or thighs. Back is flat, chest lifts. Heels press down. Exhale, release. Inhale, come back to standing. Hands come up last. Exhale, hands touch in front of the chest. I am here now. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, release. Slowly back to standing, heart opens. Exhale, hands touch in front of the chest. Awesome job. All right. We're just going to work on a couple of quick balancing aspects before we get into some more deep stretching. So we're just going to start by shifting the weight forward and back between the feet. I'm just going to shift the weight back into the heels and then forward into the toes. Heels lift, back, toes lift, forward, heels lift. Just go ahead and do that about a dozen times until you feel like your feet are firmly planted and the weight feels evenly distributed. Also, while you're standing, just observe which way your thumbs are turned and just have your thumbs facing forward or out to the sides. Feet feel like they're firmly planted and the weight is evenly distributed. Just come back to your tall standing position. Sitting in stillness, feel free to close the eyes. Again, reaffirm with your breath, I am here. Good. So we're going to start by just lifting our right foot and our right knee up just to about the height of our belly. Now, if you want to, you can gently tap the floor with your toes, or if you'd like to challenge yourself further, you can keep your foot off the floor the whole time. And so what we're going to do is create this big circle, like a clock, like a hand on a clock, all the way around the body. So that right foot's going to come all the way around. If you need to tap the foot, that's okay. And that foot's going to come all the way over and across. And then we're going to bring that foot all the way back around in front. We'll do that again. This is going to get us warmed up for our first balancing pose. This in itself is a balancing practice. You need to use a wall or a chair to help steady yourself, feel free. Just focus on the range of motion with this right leg and the strength and stability of the standing. Your hands can do whatever your hands want to do. Assist with the process. One more time. This time, bring that right foot across the front. You can kickstand the toes. With your left arm, scoop that arm under like you're cradling a baby near your belly, and then bring that other arm over and across. And just look underneath the right arm, and then back over the left shoulder. Lengthen up out of the waistline, lifting the center of the chest, reaching the crown of the head up. You can gently squeeze the thighs together as you look over left shoulder. See if you can stay here for 5 more breaths. Next exhalation, lower the hands slowly down, uncross the leg. Plant your right foot, prepare to switch. So we'll start by just lifting that left knee up, extend the toes, tap the floor, and then we'll make those counterclockwise circles with the other leg now. Round in front, cross, and then all the way around behind. Your hands can kind of just flow with you. You need to use your hands to steady yourself. Feel one more time. When you bring that left leg across, just gently kickstand the toes. This time, right arm scoops under the belly. Left arm creates that halo overhead. One time, just look underneath left arm and then back over right shoulder. Just lifts, belly draws up and in. Very light on that left big toe. Three more breaths. When you're ready, slowly release the arms, uncross the legs, bend the feet, and go ahead and just gently shake it out. Very good. So we're going to go ahead and we're actually going to start to make our way back down to the mat, and we're going to rest on our backs. And we're going to do an eagle stretch, but on the ground. We're going to do this very grounded version of eagle. So when you're ready, go ahead and come on back down to your mat. Okay. You might like to have a blanket or something to cushion the head and neck. This version of eagle, I'm going to start by just bringing my arms out to the side. And before we get started, I'm just going to gently windshield wiper the knees side to side, just to allow my back to adjust to the floor here, this new level. For those of you who have practiced eagle arms before, you'll remember we've got to create this X shape crossing at the elbows for this to really be an impactful or beneficial stretch. And if you can't quite cross at the elbows, then we'll get something else for you to do instead. We're going to make our best effort. We're going to take a deep breath in, stretch the arms wide to the side. And then when you're ready, exhale, cross right arm in front of left. So your right arm's closest to you. And then if you can, start to wrap the arms around each other until you find the left fingertips on the inside of that right hand. If you couldn't quite reach, you can always just try and reach for your fingertips behind the shoulder blades. And then you can just gently press the elbows away while you grip the shoulder blades. You get a very similar stretch, just not quite to the depth of eagle arm stretch. So I've got my X shape, right arm closer to me, right in front of left. And then I binded the hands, bound the hands together here. So I've got my left hand on the inside edge of that right. And then from here, I'm just going to gently lift the elbows away and just start to make some gentle circles with the elbows. Starting to open up those muscles in the upper back. Also just lift and lower the arms with your breath. Inhaling, hands reach up. Exhaling, elbows to belly. Let's enjoy 3 more rounds of breath here in eagle arms. Ready, exhale, untwist the arms, reach the arms out wide to the side, and rest here a moment. You can probably feel the imbalance in having done one side and not the other. We'll address that now. Inhale, open the hands out wide to the side, stretching through the fingertips. This time, exhale, cross at the elbows with left in front of right. Same thing, begin to wrap the arms around each other and clasp that left palm with your right fingers. If you can't quite bind the arms for eagle, see if you can just lift the side body so you can get your fingers around behind the grip and then lift the elbows away. And just begin to lift and lower the elbows. Try making a few circles in each direction. Last round of breathing with eagle arms. In and breathing out. Release the arms. Let them rest out to the side. One more time, windshield wiper the knees side to side. Loosening up the lower back, relaxing the back body. Very good. Go ahead and just again begin to rock from heel to toe, lifting the toes. Inhale. Exhale, ball mounted to the feet, plant, heels lift. Feel the calves engaged there. And just do that a few more times. Inhale, toes lift. Exhale, toes plant, heels lift. Maybe 5 more times. Inhale, toes lift. Exhale, heels lift. When you're ready, plant the feet. Go ahead and hug both knees in towards the chest. And just take a nice rock side to side. Breathe deeply here. One or two more rocks side to side. When you're ready, go ahead and lower both feet again. We're going to go ahead and just bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees open out to the side. If you have yoga blocks or some props, it's really beneficial to prop up the legs. So that way the legs have something to rest into, and actually helps the muscles to relax more deeply. You can also just very gently and mindfully just lift and then lower the knees. And through a little muscular engagement, help to start stretching those muscles in the inner groin and inner thigh. You can also just rest here in stillness. Deep breath in and exhale. Go ahead and plant the feet back on the floor. This time we're going to go ahead and cross our right ankle, or just above the right ankle, like the bottom part of the right shin, over top of the left knee. All right? I'm going to keep this right foot flexed, meaning toes pull back towards knee. This is going to help to protect the right knee as we stretch here. So with the muscular engagement of this right leg, I'm going to press the right leg away from my torso. You might already start to feel a level of stretch in the glute and hip, but you might be searching for a little more still. If that's the case, with your hands, go ahead and hug the left knee in towards the chest while continuing to press the right knee away. Do your best to keep the shoulders relaxed here. Keep your face and jaw relaxed. Your next exhalation, slowly release the left foot, uncross the legs, windshield wiper the knees side to side, and prepare to switch. We'll do the same thing on the other side. This time we'll cross that very bottom part of the left shin, just above the ankle, over top of that right knee joint. So kind of like where the quadricep muscle and the knees start to meet. Left foot stays flexed, meaning toes to knee, keeps the knee safe. I might find my stretch just resting here, or I might need to add in the additional option of hugging the right knee in. Do your best to steady the breath and let the face and jaw relax. your next exhalation, lower the right foot down, gently uncross the legs, and windshield wiper the knees side to side. So we'll close our active practice for one more shoulder mobility exercise. This is called the Feldenkrais method, and it accesses a state of deep relaxation through shoulder mobility exercises. So I'm going to start by rolling over onto my right side, and I'm going to go ahead and just rest here, and I'm going to prop my head up with my blanket here so it's a little more supported. And I'm going to start by resting my left palm over top of the right. Now, maintaining connection between my left hand and a surface area, the floor, my hip, something up and overhead. We want to keep this left hand connected to the floor at all times. I'm going to make 7 circles around the torso, allowing the palm to turn down when it's behind me, down while it's in front of me, and then let the palm turn up while it's up and overhead. We're just going to make 7 big circles around the body in both directions with this hand, and then we'll do the same thing with the other hand. Just very slowly and mindfully drag the hand through space. Here now. Just going to go ahead and make one more big circle in this direction, staying with my breath. And then I'm just going to pause and switch. One more time. And go and come back to center. Just give yourself a gentle hug. Rest here on your right side for a moment. Observe the breath. Just take a moment to roll onto your back. Let your arms rest down by the side. Observe any discernible difference between the right and left side. And then when you're ready, go ahead and switch and come onto your left side. So we're on our left side now. And we're going to start those circles up and overhead. We'll do 7 in both directions here. Very slowly and mindfully, no rush. One more circle in this direction. that right hand connected to the floor or to a surface at all times. Last one, last circle. If you need any final stretching, maybe a nice happy baby pose would do it for you. Take your time to address your final stretch, and then we're going to make our way into Shavasana. Take the next 30 seconds or so to balance out one side, and then 30 seconds for the next side, about a minute to make your Shavasana adjustments or to enjoy one final stretch. Your choice. Ready, make your way back to Shavasana. Little adjustments you need to so the body can be totally still and relaxed. Yourself to relax ever more deeply with each passing breath. Really relax. Exhale, ground. And gently tense and release your hands and arms. And gently point flex through the toes and feet, ankles. You made your final adjustments. Let your physical body be completely still so it can relax. Resting here in peace, gratitude, resting here in peace, deep sense of peace, breath. move. Shanti, shanti, peace, peace, body, spirit, peace. Begin to deepen your breath. Increase the count of your breath in. Lengthen the count of the breath out. Feel this sense of deep peace, timeless peace. Connected to this timeless peace, slowly reintegrate your conscious awareness back into your physical body. Let the body slowly, deliberately, gradually reawaken. That I'll close with our chants for world peace. This is the Loka chant. You're familiar with it. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Translation for this beautiful chant goes something like this. May the entire universe be filled with peace and with joy, with love and light. May the light of truth overcome all darkness. Victory to that light. Jai. Close our practice with Namaste. Namaste. Thank you all so much for choosing to spend your time here tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace and blessings. Thank you. Thank you.
Namaste, Bryan, and thank you, you as well, for a wonderful class tonight. I'm going to unmute folks in case they want to say anything, but thank you for joining us tonight, and we hope to see you next week.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your presence and participation. Thank you. Namaste.